Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm here with my November favorites. So I'm going to get started with my makeup favorites for the month. So I have definitely been enjoying playing around with my eyeshadow palettes, and I've been really enjoying the ones that I've used this past month. So in the beginning of the month, I was using the Urban Decay 15th Anniversary palette, which is so pretty. So this is what this one looks like. And I had featured this in a products I regret buying video, but since I want to get through my makeup and try to use everything and just get enjoyment out of everything, I decided to pull this one out for the beginning of the month just because I was going to be home. And this is something not super great to travel with, but if I'm just at home, it's fine to use. So I really enjoyed using this palette, and I really focused on the lighter shades on this side of the palette. And for like everyday work looks, I really love Midnight 15, Vanilla, and Flow. They're super pretty. But what I love doing this with to add a little bit of color was add in a color eyeliner. So specifically, see how Vanilla is paired next to the Omen, the purple color. So when I wore the Vanilla, kind of a little bit of a yellowy color, I loved pairing it with, and these are the 24/7 eyeliners from Urban Decay. I love pairing it with this Rockstar liner, which is like a purple liner. So I thought those paired together really well. And when I wore Flow, which is the little more orangey color, that one's right next to the blue, the Evidence color. So when I wore Flow, I love pairing it with Binge, which is also a 24/7 Urban Decay liner. And it's like a blue-ish color. So I love doing kind of the like a lighter look with the pop of color. That was super fun to do, and I really enjoyed these products. And then towards the end of the month, the palette that I've been using is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. And this is just gorgeous, and I'll show you the colors. But, oh, so pretty. And this one is kind of different than this is like neutral palette versus the other palette had a lot more colors, and it made me want to play with color a little bit more. But this is just a really pretty rose gold palette. And for this palette, it has lots of good like lighter looks for the work looks. I really love Strange and Bust, Burnout, and Limit. The first four are really nice kind of lighter shades. And then for more dramatic shades, I really love like these three, which are Liar, Factory, and Mugshot. So this has lots of different looks. You can definitely make it more dramatic, or you can have lighter looks for every day. So I've really been loving this palette. And then this blush, I've absolutely been loving. I've only had it for a few weeks, but definitely is already a favorite. So this is the Tarte Blush and Exposed, and I got this at the Sephora VIB sale. Definitely love this blush. Just a nude blush, super pretty. This I've had on my wish list forever, and I wasn't going to buy it. But I was like, I was having kind of a crappy week, or like a super stressful week, and I'm like, I'm going to get the blush. I'm just going to get the blush. I'm going to get the blush. So I got the blush, and I'm super happy that I did. I've really been loving it. So that's everything for makeup. I do have one nail polish that I've been loving this month. This is by OPI, and kind of ironically, the name of this is Every Month is Oktoberfest, which is this would have been more fitting in October, but I've been loving it this month. It actually comes off a little more like purple on the nail than it looks in the bottle. It looks a little more reddish in the bottle. I guess to film, like in person it looks a little more red, but I guess on film it looks a little more purple. But it's more purple, like a deep purplish red. So pretty. I've been loving it. For books, I read this book at the beginning of the month, but definitely has been my favorite thing that I read this month. This is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. So she had written also Anna and the French Kiss, which I had read previously, And there's a third book in the series. It's Isla and the Happily Ever After, which I totally have on my wish list, which I want to totally buy. But this book, it's about a girl named Lola. If you can tell from the cover, it takes place in San Francisco. And I do live in the San Francisco, like, Bay Area, so it was fun to read, like, a book set in, like, a local setting. It was super fun to read. And basically, she is in high school, and she has it's San Francisco, so she has her two dads, and her dads really don't like her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's a little older than her. He's in a band. They think he's kind of this bad boy and kind of not a good influence on her. And then her neighbor, these two twins move back. There's a boy and a girl, and the girl is like this ice skater. This guy she's always kind of had a crush on, but she kind of felt like he rejected her before, and then he moved away. So it's about their relationship, and it's very interesting, very enjoyable to read. I read this one pretty quickly, but I definitely like the setting. I like the character, so I really enjoyed this book. And then I have a lot more kind of media favorites. So definitely I've been loving music this month, and I have been loving Taylor Swift's new album, 1989. I've been listening to that on repeat. Like, I love the album because I think it's best listened to, like, all the way through, not shuffled in the order that it was, like, meant to be listened to, because it really tells a story. You kind of go from this girl, you know, being in a new place, in a new relationship, and the relationship is kind of rocky, and then it's a lot of songs about, you know, the relationship's done, is it not done, to her kind of coming to her own at the end and being kind of over it, and, like, fully over the relationship, I guess. So I love her CD. Definitely some of my favorites are Blank Space. I love that song. I love the video, too. Really good. All You Had to Do Was Stay. Let's see. I love, and the last song, Clean, I really love as well. So I've definitely been listening to Taylor Swift. Also for music, kind of a different departure from Taylor Swift. I've also been listening to a lot of Lana Del Rey. So, funny story, I guess. I was watching American Horror Story Freak Show, and I think it was like the Halloween episode. There was like a 2-part Halloween episode, so I actually got this CD in October, but I've definitely been listening to all month. And that's definitely another favorite, American Horror Story Freak Show. Like, at first, I wasn't super into the season, but I've slowly gotten into it more and more. But there was a scene when Jessica Lange's character was singing. It's set in the 50s, but they'll sing on the show modern songs, which I think is, like, super cool. I don't know. I like stuff like that. But she was singing a song, and I wasn't sure what song it was, but I'm like, this sounds like Lana Del Rey. So I was, like, Googling the lyrics to try to figure out what song it was, and the song was Gods and Monsters by Lana Del Rey. And I was like, I have one, I think it's the Let It Die album. Is that what her other album is called? Let's see, I have my phone here. I never remember names of stuff. Okay. Lana Del Rey, where did you go? Oh, not Let It Die, Born to Die album. So I was like, was that song on that album? I'm like, no. It's on her Paradise album. So I'm like, I have to buy it. So I bought that on kind of an impulse because I want, like, the one song from it. So I've been loving American Horror Story, and I've been listening to Lana Del Rey, and it's kind of, I'll have a playlist of, like, Taylor Swift, and then it goes into Lana Del Rey after I'm done with the Taylor Swift. I don't know, that's kind of been my, like, favorite playlist to play, or CDs that I've been listening to. And then I've also been just watching a lot of TV, or been liking a lot of TV shows recently. I don't know. So American Horror Story Freak Show, which I already mentioned. And then I've been obsessed with Are You the One on MTV. So it's a show, if you don't know, there's 10 guys, 11 girls. And each of the guys and the girls they did like tests, and there's matchmakers, and they figure out who everyone's perfect match is. Well, one guy has 2 perfect matches, so 2 of the girls, that's why there's 11 girls. So it creates a lot of drama in the house, and it makes it a lot harder for them to figure out who the perfect matches are, but since there is the 11th girl. But they have 10 tries to try to figure, like, they have matching ceremonies where everyone picks their match, and if they get it all right, if everyone picks their perfect match, they all get to split $1 million. And the 11th girl, so it could be they said who the 11th girl is. So if she's paired with her perfect match, and like at a matching ceremony, one girl always has to sit out, one girl's always not chosen. So if they're all perfectly matched, whatever girl is like the second match to the guy that wasn't chosen, then she wouldn't get the $1 million. So it creates a lot of like drama in the house. And then of course this like group of people, this is the second season, like they're really bad at figuring out who the perfect matches are, and they'll find out, they've had multiple times when like no one has picked their perfect match at the matching ceremony, but then they still are like, oh, I know you're not my perfect match, but I'm still gonna hook up with you. And they're super like, I don't know, kind of annoying. But the first season of the show, they were able to figure out their perfect matches, and I like the show more for like the math problem of it. I watch it and I have a new spreadsheet, and I keep track of like who they picked at the matching ceremonies, how many matches they had correct, and I'm trying to figure it out. Of course, I found a blog online that, you know, they use like their mathematic like programs and formulas or whatever to figure out like these are the only possible like match solutions left. So I just like it for that fact. I don't really care who the perfect matches are. I just like trying to figure out the problem of if they only had 2 matches in week 1, and we know that this was one of the confirmed matches, who could possibly be the other match? If they were a perfect match, does that make sense going through the other weeks of knowing how many matches there are and how many confirmed matches? Anyway, that show's just been fun for that fact. I've still been loving The Walking Dead. Oh, loving that show. Project Runway All-Stars. So I love Project Runway. I always watch Project Runway, and then they'll have Project Runway All-Stars, which I like too because it's all people you liked from previous seasons. There's no like bad people. Like the first weeks of like competition reality shows, usually they're weeding through the like less strong contestants. So this time everyone's strong. You like or know about everyone. The only bad thing is if you really like someone, like they could go home super soon because there's no like buffer of like the bad people. But really been loving that. And then also Vampire Diaries, I've really been getting into lately. Like Vampire Diaries, I'm either like super into it or I'm just kind of like over it. But I've really been liking it lately because they're really focusing on like the main characters or the original character, not the original characters, like the like main core group of characters. A lot of times in the show, I won't like it when they bring in all these like new characters and we have to like fight these people for like episode after episode. I like that it's focused on like Damon and Elena and like just the core like group of characters versus all of these like side stories. So I've really been liking the direction that's been going lately, and yeah, those definitely have been my favorites. So that is everything I've been loving for this month. I would love to know the stuff that you've been loving in November, and thanks for watching. Bye.